So this video is on law of cosine. And let me just write the formulas up here at the top. And I'm going to be doing it in terms of little a, which, and I say that I mean side A, and another one in terms of finding angle A. So we have a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine of A. I would use that if I was trying to find an angle, a side, and I was given basically side angle side. If I had side, where I knew three sides and I needed to find an angle, and let's say I wanted to find angle A, I would do cosine A, and it's just rewriting that last formula, is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. So let's take a look at this first one here. So we have a triangle. So let me grab a triangle. And I'm going to just make it so that it doesn't look like an isosceles. A little more. Okay. And let me just label this. So let's say that this is A, B, C, and this is going to be little c, this is going to be little a, and this is going to be little b. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this on to the next problem. Okay. So for this, they want us to find, solve for b. Okay, so I want to solve for this b. And I know that little a is 8. Whoops. And highlight, hold on. Little a is 8. I know angle B is 72 degrees and little c is 7. So you'll notice I have side, angle, side. And I am trying to find the side opposite my angle B, which is little b. So I am going to be using b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times cosine of angle B. So I'm going to have b squared is equal to 8 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 8 times 7 times cosine of 72 degrees. And I am going to put that into my calculator. So see, I've got 64 plus, let me just get this focused more. So 64 plus 49 minus 2 times 8 times 7 times cosine of 72. And you want to make sure your calculator's in degrees, which it is. And I end up getting, let's say, 78.39. So I have b squared equals 78.39. Now that's b squared. I want b, so I'm going to take the square root. So I am going to raise this to the 0.5 or 1/2, which is the same as the square root, and I get 8.85. And that is little b. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. So on problem 2, I want to solve for this triangle, which means I need to find every piece. So I know angle A is 95 degrees, side B is 11, side C is 9. So you see I've got side, this angle, and this side. So I have side, angle, side. Now, what I am going to find is I am going to find A first, okay? The side opposite of my angle. So I'm going to do A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine of A. So I'm going to have A squared is equal to 11 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 11 times 9 times cosine of 95 degrees. And I'm going to put that into my calculator. And I'm going to have 121 plus 81 minus 2 times 11 times 9 times cosine of 95. And I get 219.26. So 219.26. Now again, this is A squared. I want A, so I'm going to take the square root of that, or I can raise it to the 0.5 or 1/2. That's the same. So I end up getting 14.81 for side A. So now I know this side right here is 14.81. So at this point, I actually have an angle on the side opposite, which means I can use law of sines. So at this point, I'm going to use law of sines to help me find, let's find angle B next. So if I'm trying to find angle B, I am going to use the two I know, which is angle A and side A. So I'm going to go sine of 95 degrees over 14.81 is equal to sine of angle B over the side opposite that, which is 11. I'm going to cross multiply. So I am going to end up getting 14.81 sine B equals 11 sine 95. Let me move this over a little bit. Okay, so is equal to 11 sine, let me make that look like an 11 here, kind of scrunched all that together. 11 sine 95. So I am going to divide both sides by 14.81. And then I am going to, in this case, I need to find angle B, not sine of B. So to find the angle, I'm going to take sine inverse. And so I'm going to take sine inverse of 11 sine 95 over 14.81. And I'm going to put that into my calculator. So sine inverse of 11 sine 95 over 14.81. And I end up getting 47.72. So I know angle B is 47.72 degrees. So I found side A, I found angle B. Next thing I need to find is my angle C. Now, since I have two angles, I can just use the idea of a triangle having 180 degrees to do that. So I'll do this in orange. So I'm going to go C is going to equal 180 minus 95 minus 47.72, and that's going to give me angle C. So I'm going to take 180 minus 95 minus this 47.72, and I end up getting 37.28 degrees, and that's angle C. And I solve for all of the missing pieces. Okay, on number 3. So solve for all missing sides and angles. Okay, let me just, this is going to be little a. This over here is little c. This over here is little b. So looking at this, I've got side, angle, side. Okay, so I'm going to use law of sines. Law of cosines, I apologize. You only use law of sines if you have a pair, an angle and a side opposite that you know. And I don't have any pair of angle and side opposite in this problem as of yet. So I'm going to use law of cosines. So let's see. First thing I'm going to do is find the side across from the angle. So I am going to do a squared. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine of a. So I am going to get 400 squared plus 375 squared minus 2 times 400 times 375 times cosine of 35 degrees. And I'm going to put that into my calculator. And so 400 squared plus 375 squared minus 2 times 400 times 375 times cosine of 35. And so when I put that in, I end up getting 54,879. So 54,879.39. And then I need to take the square root of that. And I end up getting 234.26 for side A. So now I know the angle and I know this A. Since I know a pair, I can, oh, and they actually want this to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to change this to a 0.3. Okay, I didn't read that, nearest tenth. So now that I know an angle and a side opposite, I can use that and I can use law of sines. So I am going to do sine of 35 degrees over 234.3 equals sine of, let's find angle B first. So sine of angle B over 400. I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to end up with 234.3 sine of B equals 400 sine of 35 degrees. So sine of B is equal to 400 sine of 35 degrees over 234.3. I am going to do sine inverse to find the angle. So I'm going to take sine inverse of this, 400 sine of 35 degrees over 234.3. And I'm going to put that into my calculator and see what we get. So sine inverse of 400 sine of 35, oops, over 234.3. And I end up getting 78.3 degrees. Okay, so I end up getting 78.3 degrees. So now that I know angle B and I know my A was 35, okay, I am, and I'll do this in orange in this box. So now I'm going to take one, I know my C is going to equal 180 minus 35 minus 78.3. And so 180 minus 35 minus this angle, angle. And I get that C is equal to 66.7 degrees. Okay, on problem 4, they want us just to find C, angle C. So if you're looking at this, you'll notice I've got side, side, side. Okay, and I don't have any pair of angle and side across that I know. So you're not going to use law of sines. We're going to use law of cosines. And since I'm going to find an angle, I am going to use this formula. And they want me to find C. So I'm going to do cosine of C is equal to A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. And just to make sure everyone understands what's what, this is across from angle B, so that's little b. This 8 is across from angle C, so that's little c. And little a is going to be 9. So I'm going to put this into my calculator once I get these values in. So I'm going to have a 9 squared plus 5 squared minus 8 squared over 2 times 9 times 5. Let's see what we get. So I am going to get, basically, let's see, 81 plus 25 minus 64 over 2 times 9 times 5. I get 7 over 15. So now I don't want cosine C, I want C. So I'm going to do C equals cosine inverse of 7 over 15. And let's see what that gives me. So cosine inverse of this 7 over 15, and I get 62.18 degrees. Okay, on number 5. Okay, so this is area of a triangle, and we saw the formula for that the other day. You need side, angle, side. You need the side, an angle in between, and the side. You need the two sides that form that angle that you know. So this is side, angle, side. Let me just mark everything. This is going to be little p. This is little q. This would be little r, but I don't need it. So since I have my q, my p, and angle r, my area formula is going to be the following. 1/2 p times q times sine of 58 degrees. Here, hold on, sorry. Before I write that, sine of r. Now let me put in my numbers. So I'm going to have 1/2 6.5 times 7.4 times sine of 58 degrees. I'm going to put that into my calculator, and that is going to be my answer. So I'm going to put in 0.5 times 6.5 times 7.4 times sine of 58, and 20.40 or 20.4. That's our answer. Okay, on the last problem, it's a word problem. Okay, we have two planes leaving an airport. So let's say that this is the airport. And the angle between their flight paths is 40 degrees. So let's say I've got one going this way. Let's say I've got one going this way. And this angle is 40 degrees. And we know that one traveled 200 miles. Another one traveled 300 miles. And we want to know how far apart were they at this time. So I want this, okay? So if I had this be A and this little a, and this B, so this would be our little b, this C, so this would be little c. I, as you can see, have side angle side, and so I'm going to use law of cosines. And I'm going to do a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine of a. So I'm going to have a squared is equal to 300 squared plus 200 squared minus 2 times 300 times 200. And times cosine of 40. Put that into my calculator. So 300 squared plus 200 squared, oops, 200 squared. So 300 squared plus 200 squared minus 2 times 300 times 200 times cosine of 40 degrees. So I end up with 38,074.67. I'm going to take the square root of that, and I end up with 195.13 miles as my answer. And that's the end of this video.